Lent is a journey, and as we move together through the season of Lent, we have opportunities, invitations, graces that actually call out of us opportunities, as I mentioned, for us to respond to God's call in a special way, and particularly through the needs of others around us that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. We all know that the traditional practices of Lent, prayer, fasting, and abstinence are recommended to each and every one of us, but there are ways of doing each of these actions, and I'd like to focus for a moment just on the understanding that we may have of almsgiving. Typically when we think of almsgiving, as the word implies, it's giving things to people that are in need, the poor among us. And sometimes we associate those gifts with gifts of money, writing out a check, donating, perhaps some goods, some food, or perhaps even being a part of a soup kitchen or some other way in which people that are in need can have some immediate contact with us and us with them. And I think it's important to keep that contact there, as personal as possible. And it's a good thing, of course, to donate money to charity and have somebody else administer those funds if we have confidence in their use. But there's something so much more, I might say, holistic and, in that sense, holy about engaging another person face to face and being able to encounter as a person that individual and to experience what happens when two people are in one another's presence and are giving of the best that they have to offer. Sometimes if God has blessed us with the gift of wealth, of some form of material wealth, or some particular talent that we have to make something, to knit something, to bake something, that might be a good way for us to share with a person who does not immediately have those skills or gifts. So it does make sense to look at what our gifts are and to find a way in which we can share them personally. But sometimes the gift that we may give, although very tangible, may not be something that we can put in quantitative terms, in material terms. The gift of just personal presence, listening to somebody else's story or woe or fear. Chances are, as we walk down the corridor of any of our walkways in life, whether that's in a school, a high school student, you walk down the corridor, there's somebody you're going to pass by that is probably going through a tough time and may even feel invisible to you or to anybody else. To notice that person, to give them the gift of your attention and time, even if it's just for a few moments, is a way of giving alms. So however you choose to do that, however I may choose to do that, let's open ourselves up to the Lord, how the Lord inspires us. But to be willing to take the time to be present to the other person. And it may be a deliberative effort to spend a certain amount of money or to make a craft or to bake a loaf of bread to somebody perhaps who may have lost a loved one and may just appreciate the gift of a call, a house call. I brought these for you, for your family. However it is that the Lord inspires us to do it, to be open to that grace. Remember, ultimately, every time we give of ourselves in any way, we're giving to the Lord. And this is the way the Lord has asked us to see his presence, particularly in the poorest among us, whoever that poor person may be, poor in goods of this earth, or maybe just poor in terms of attention, someone that needs the gift of our smile.